week 8. Take us through. What's your plan that you're going to do differently this game week as opposed to the last game week, and what are the lessons that you learned from game week 8?
No, to be honest, I don't know what I'm gonna do after that horrendous game week I had. Um, yeah, it was so shocking. I actually had to take an actual break, not just an international break. I had to take a literal break from the whole game. The whole week, I didn't do anything. I didn't touch my team. Nothing. It's only like literally this week. I had a look at my team and started thinking what I'm gonna do. So, in terms of my transfer plans, I am, to be honest, earlier on during the week, I was thinking that, I'll maybe just do one transfer and then maybe do the wild card in game week 10. But now, there is the chance that I might just pull the wild card now, use it now. Yeah, right now, there's just so much to think about. And like I always say, after an international break, it's really, really difficult to determine who's going to be fit and ready to play over the weekend, especially those who were at international duty. And as you heard, there are some players already with injuries. You know, players such as Robertson from Liverpool, and we all know how Liverpool have got a good fixture this weekend. He would have been one of a top pick for this weekend, but yeah, it just minimizes your choices in terms of transfers for the weekend. Yeah, so currently at the moment, I'm just leaving things as they are, but definitely I will make a transfer. It either will be one or could be a wild card, or could even be another hit. But we will wait and see. Yeah.
Very well, very well. You speak about wild card. Could you just expand a bit more on your decision about it? Is it more so because of a fixture swing, or is this also coming from the fear of Salah? What is your take on this? You do have some flags. Where is the decision of the wild card really and truly coming from? Considering your team has some very good picks in good health, and a transfer here and a hit there, I believe can fix the solution. Yeah.
To be honest, with my team, I don't think it needs much fixing. There's a lot of good players with good fixtures, well, particularly for this weekend, and maybe one or two fixtures after that. Um, there's obviously, that whole thing whereby Liverpool have got a good run of fixtures. I definitely want to have a Liverpool player, the obvious one being Salah. So it's going to be a mission to try and get, to Salah without a wild card. At the moment, the only other way would probably be to take a hit if I wanted to do it this weekend. But in terms of using the wild card, there's a lot of chatter about using it later on during the season, in particular in December when City has a double game week, that type of thing. But for me, it'll be more of do I really need to? Does my team really need that massive shakeup? If I feel that I can get to my specific targets by taking a couple of hits this game week or that game week, then I'll do so. So yeah, currently at the moment, I don't feel like I need to do the wild card right now. Maybe next weekend, the following game week 10, maybe. Yeah.
No, thanks, Chaps. I see as well. You're part of the train that is still having faith in Haaland, giving him the captaincy armband. But what I'm more interested in is what's your take in having Haaland and Salah? Is it something that you're also going to consider, since you're also talking about wildcarding? Will you be having both of them in your team, or would you transfer the one out to make space or free up some funds for the other? Thanks.
With regards to Haaland v Salah, for me, I feel like at the moment the only choice I can make is to only have one. I'm a person who likes to have a balanced squad, and for me, having both is doesn't make much sense. So it really restricts your squad in terms of value and the type of personnel that you can have. You know, for me, I would feel like it's either or. You know, having both is it just doesn't feel right. Yes, you'll have the advantage that you know what, if one obviously doesn't do it, the other one, probably will, because currently at the moment, both of them do have good fixtures. Um, but currently, one at the moment, namely Haaland, is not having such a good run. Salah is being consistent with these numbers. Um, so um, so having both is not on the cards for me.
I think I would like to ask about captaincy. There's a lot of options lately going into the next fixture round. This game week specifically, looking at your side, you have Son, you have Ireland, and you could even maybe even say Madison. But one in particular I want to ask about is Trippier not a captain option for you, considering how high he is in the bonus point system, needing mainly just an assist or a clean sheet? And considering Haaland's form lately, is Trippier not a good option for captaincy over Haaland this game week?
So particularly for this game week, you know, just talking about Trippier himself and Newcastle, I just feel like yes, they're playing at home. They've been really good this season at home, but I just feel like every now and again when they play the lesser teams, they've been a little bit inconsistent. You know, conceding, a goal or a goal here and there. So I feel like at the moment maybe not, considering that Champions League game is coming up during the week. So we're not really 100% sure how that's going to play into their minds. And they're doing so well in the Champions League. They want to carry that form into Wednesday. So for all we know, they might want to rest Trippier. I'm not 100% sure if Trippier actually was involved in the England team. I think he might have been. So they might want to rest him for this game and maybe just give him less minutes in this game or not at all even. So for me, he's not a real captaincy choice. To be honest, having a defender as a captaincy choice is never a thing for me. It only becomes a thing when I know that they have good fixtures and that they've got a double game week. Then I would consider that. But as a one game fixture in a game week, no, I wouldn't consider Trippier. So right now, for me, how I have it, I think that's probably the way to go. I think with Rodri coming back and one or two others coming back into Man City, I think Haaland might find it a little bit easier, or City might find it a little bit easier. Let's be honest, Brighton hasn't been playing all that well, and City is playing at home, and we all know how well they do at home. So it's gonna be a good game, and I feel like what, Haaland might get a goal or two this weekend.
No, thanks, chaps. I see your squad is very well balanced. On paper, it's quite a formidable side. I was actually just noting that when you look at the Premier League table, you've got Tottenham. You've really got 3 players from Tottenham. You've got Arsenal second. You've got 2 players from Arsenal. Then you've got Man City. You've got 3 players from Man City. So in terms of like the top 3, you've actually covered those teams. What advice would you give to other FPL managers, especially those who are considering to wildcard? Do you think they should be considering players such as your Liverpool or your West Ham, looking at the run of fixtures that we'll have, including Newcastle as well, for the next game week? So what advice would you give someone who's considering wildcard between this game week and game week 10?
Look, when you activate your wildcard, when you use your wildcard, what you have to do, because remember, with the wildcard, it gives you that opportunity of making as many transfers as you want without being penalized or getting hits, right? So that means in doing so, the players that you choose should be able to or should have good fixtures for the next at least 4 fixtures, minimum 4 fixtures. This way, it'll prevent you from making, unnecessary transfers here and there, and taking certain 8-point hits, being emotional and so forth. So so please, just make sure that when you use the wild card, you plan ahead, you look at the fixtures for the specific type of players or players that you want, see if their fixtures are good, and if they're good, bring them in. I think that's the only way to look at it. Don't just look at it for the immediate future. In other words, 1 or 2 games. Look at it even further ahead, even maybe further ahead than 4 games. Because then what you should then be doing with your transfers after the wild card is just basically using them for emergencies. If you find that you got a player who's red or yellow flagged, then that's the only time you should be using your transfers. So for me, that should be your main objective when using the wild card.
Thank you. Very interesting answer there, Mr. Bandwagon. Very well. I think I wanted to ask you about a player nobody's thinking about right now, or some are who want to take a chance on him. But that player is Trent Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool have some good fixtures coming around. He is very expensive, but would you say that he is a player that, given the money and the opportunity, would he be a great differential for players, for managers out there? Or do you think that he's too much of a risk?
Good question. I think it's a bit of a risk, considering that Trent hasn't really given us any returns this season. I mean, this new role that they've put him in, where he's sort of like cut in to the midfield, I think that, yes, Liverpool is playing well, but for him as an FPL player, he's not what he used to be for us. And I think for that price bracket, it is way too much for somebody who's hardly returning. I mean, the only player right now, or defender rather, should I say, who's returning at the levels that could warrant their price tag is probably Trippier at the moment. So for me, Trent is a little bit of a no-go. I mean, if you really wanted to go at Liverpool defenders, Maybe look into either, if Robertson was fit, you could look into Robertson, or you could look into Virgil van Dijk, or even Allison. I mean, with Allison, he's arguably, the best keeper in the league. So in doing so, we've seen all the saves that he makes. So he can give you save points as well. So, and then with Van Dijk, he can give you a couple of goals here and there from set pieces. So yeah, with Trent at the moment, yeah, those returns are really running dry. They're really, really running dry. It's not the same from previous years. So for me, I wouldn't go there.
Thank you. Thank you very much.